Such petty games always catch me up, and I don't know why there's so many things left to hold on to that tie me down. Something old has given me a warning, ancient dream, apocalyptical prophecy of a coming time when the earth will tremble with a fever and a chill. Yes, it will. I have had the good graces to meet a few friends who I can turn to in my dark house, and I wonder if they see just what they mean to me, those shining flowers in God's garden. I'm trying to spread my love day by day, but it's hard to stay that open-hearted way. We all need love to see us through the cold and lonely nights. We're all destined to fly the same soaring heights. Sometimes I fool myself into thinking that I've got nothing left to offer here. That's when I try to be a little kinder to myself and the world all around. Why can't we just love one another the way we should? As sisters and brothers, help along the way back home. We're all going home.
Your home is where you're happy. It's not where you're not free. Your home is where you can be what you are, 'cause you're just born to be. They'll show you their castles, diamonds for all to see. But will they show you peace of mind? Do they know how to be free? So go all your bridges, let your life be behind you. You can do what you wanna do, yes you can, just as long as you are strong. And anywhere you might wander, you can make that your home. Just as long as you got love in your heart, you will never be alone. So know all your bridges, let your life be behind you. You can do what you wanna do, yes you can, just as long as you are strong. My life is all that I have got to live. Yeah. Making the world a better place to live. Do, 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 do. I know there's something I came here to do. Now at last, it comes into view. I'm making your world a better place to live. Making the world a better place to live. My life is all that I have got to live. Oh yeah. Making the world a better place to live.
Good morning. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply, and we live our lives as best we can. You have found your way to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church on our online service, probably the 48th or something like that. This is a church built on covenant rather than creed. We don't have to believe alike to agree that the principles we live by can be in concert with one another. We are here in a covenant to treat respectfully those with differing paths and opinions. It's not an easy thing to take on if we really live into it. But that's our covenant. So whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to be here with us, you are always welcome in a spirit of mutual respect. Lots going on. The ground under our feet still continues to shift pretty much daily, and we don't know how much longer we will be doing these services online. But we try to do them as live as possible, so we don't, we're here with you, and we're not editing out faux pas along the way. But we want to be with you, so make an effort, if you will, to have your spirit reach across the ether to those you wish you could be with this morning in this service. Think about the faces you want to see, and think about what you might say and how good the hugs will feel when we get to return to those. In the meantime, take a breath. We front load these services with a little bit of information, so I hope you'll listen up, take notes, and kick in where it fits your path.
Hey, good morning, and I'm Bennett Upton. I am the board president here at All Souls UU, and just have a couple of announcements. It's been a minute since I've done announcements. It's been kind of nice, but a few things that are going on that I'd like to mention. One is we're looking for volunteers for the Gala Planning Committee. And I know that now is not the time for a gala, but we always start planning these things long in advance. So the idea of sitting around and talking about when we can be together again and throw a great big party, to me sounds kind of nice. And if you'd like to get involved in those efforts to join in the planning, and talking about how one day we will be together, and we will probably have drinks, and we will probably have nice food. So I think that would be kind of nice. It may be, we're looking at September, October, something along those lines, but of course the date has still not been set. And but then other things, we still have the normal visitors log if you wanted to fill that out. And there should be a link showing up in the chat. And then also I wanted to say thank you for the pledges that we have received. If you have pledged, then we greatly appreciate that. We absolutely thrive on your donations, and knowing how many donations that we might expect to get over the coming year is always wonderful. We are still accepting them if you have one. Last year's budget was a combination of luck, last minute reprieves, some very generous donations, and some black magic. So this year, we would like to use less black magic. Maybe invite your coven to join, and maybe invite them to pledge. Something along those lines, though. It's better to use pledges than black magic. So we're trying to keep things stable around here. Your pledges are greatly appreciated. And that's all I've got. I'm going to hand things over to Susan. Thank you.
Thank you, Bennett, and happy Mardi Gras, everybody. I know we can't have the Highland Parade, which would be today, but I know a lot of folks have decorated their houses. If you have done that and you would like to send us a picture, we have the Caring Connection page for our members that I'd love to make you a part of. If you are not our members and friends, you don't have to be a member to get on that page. But also, if you send them to me either by Facebook Messenger or at dre@allsoulshreveport.org, which I imagine will magically appear in the comments, I would love to post them on our main page to say, here are the homes of our members decorated for Mardi Gras. I would love to be able to do that. Let's see, we have family religious education today at 1 o'clock, and we're gonna have a little a little Valentine's and Mardi Gras fun today. So join us for that. And that link we usually put in the religious education page and on the Slack channel. And if you would like to, your kids would like to join us, you and your kids, and you aren't on either of those, by all means, message me, Susan Kelly Caldwell, and I'll be happy to get that to you. The Highland Blessing Dinner can always use volunteers. Somebody was asking about that this morning in our adult class. It is really very safe. I mean, as in-person things go at all, and I understand if you are high risk, you don't want to do it, and I'm totally respectful of that. If you are not high risk, and especially if you've had your vaccine, we always wear our masks. Even when guests just walk up, we'll say, if they don't have a mask, we'll say, do you have one? And if they don't, they get one. I mean, we have masks that we hand out. And so So it's safe, and we can always use folks. And there are lots and lots of hungry people in Shreveport-Bossier right now. So we almost, I think there's only one night that we ended up not running out of food before time. So by all means, come and help. We'd love to have you. That's 4 to 6 at the Highland Center, which is 520 Olive, corner of Highland and Olive, every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. I believe that is all I have, and I am going to turn it over to Brittany.
Didn't know I was going to get a sound. That was exciting. As your Yankee in residence, I am here to talk about the snowpocalypse this morning. So we've had a lot of questions from folks about warming stations, shelters, what options are there, what's needed to help out. We have been able to identify that the Shreveport-Bossier Rescue Mission, as well as the Salvation Army, have made additional shelter space available for those who are living outdoors right now if they would like to come inside. The Salvation Army has also prepared their gym with cots, and they have additional housing options available if that fills up. Hope Connection is accepting donations of socks, coats, hats, gloves, sleeping bags, blankets, and of course, financial support to help them with their outreach efforts over the course of this week. They have been distributing those items in the various camps in and around downtown, but more help is always needed. Community activist Carla Collins has organized an effort with the Plantation Inn on Greenwood Road, where hotel rooms will be available for $45 a night. They also do have some hotel rooms that will be available for those who don't have $45. She's been taking donations. And if anybody would like to support her efforts, just reach out to me via Facebook or email or phone. I think everybody has my contact information at this point, and I'll be happy to point you in the right direction. City Council member Jerry Bowman has indicated that the city is on standby, and Councilwoman Livette Fuller has been working to line up some additional options as far as if there's widespread power outages and folks do not have access to heat or water. In addition, there is a coordinated effort for state and local officials to kind of triage the situation and pool resources, and that information will be made available through the city of Shreveport. For folks who are undocumented and may need housing support during the next week and might not be comfortable going to the shelters, there are options available for that. Again, if someone is interested in that, please just reach out to me directly. We don't want to broadcast that information, but there are resources available. Bossier Parish Public Libraries will be reopening on Tuesday, and as of right now, are expected to be open for the duration of the week during their regular hours. So if folks do need a place to go to just get warm for a couple of hours, that is a resource that's going to be available in Bossier. It's unclear right now if Shreveport libraries are going to be doing the same thing. If you do lose power, please avoid using your gas stove or bringing outdoor heating elements indoors to keep you warm, especially if you do not have carbon monoxide detectors. Check on your neighbors, make sure everybody's doing okay. And if you are planning to drive anywhere in the next week, I personally suggest putting your windshield wipers up. It will save you a world of trouble trying to chip them out of whatever is frozen on your car. So I hope everybody stays warm, stays safe. Please reach out if you need support during the next week. And if we have additional information, I'm sure we can post that on Facebook or the website for folks to access if you have access to internet and power. So good luck.
This reading comes from Gretchen Haley. Every little thing that breaks your heart is welcome here. We'll make a space for it. Give it its due time and praise for the wanting it represents, the longing for something more, some healing hope that remains not yet. We promise no magic, no making it all better, but offer only this circle of trust, this human community that remembers, though imperfectly, that sings and prays, though sometimes awkwardly, this gathering that loves, though not yet enough. We're still practicing. After all, still learning, still in need of help and partners, still becoming able to receive all this beauty and all these gifts we each bring. Come, let us worship. We seem to have lost our host. There's a song that we were going to play now. I don't know if our other host has the files. Turn on your audio. Well, sometimes the audio link is in the middle of the slide. But part of our call to worship was going to be the song Spirit of Life. So maybe you can put the words up and we can recite it together. Or Spirit of life, come unto me. We have one of our stellar young people who will lead our children's portion of the chalice lighting. Miss Susan, would you like to lead that while we get up and running? Okay, never mind.
Hi, my name is Ava, and I'm going to be saying the chalice lighting.
Go ahead.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart.
We do very much appreciate Ava Kate. We call this light before us in hope that we may always remain a strong community, working together to make the world a better place. When we are grieving or sad, when we are challenged, when we need help, this flame guides us out of the darkness. When we are cheerful, when we celebrate, and when we accomplish a great task, when we return to a place that makes us happy, the chalice reminds us to share our happiness with others. I want to wish you an enlightening Black History Month, a felicitous Carnival season, a happy Valentine's, and a restorative season of love as we come into worship today. We light this chalice for the better angels of our nature, for the light of hope that shines still for our nation, for humankind, for all that is yet to be, but also for the simple truth of this moment, this assembly, and this shared, beloved community. I'd like to invite Susan Yellett to lead us in our unison affirmation. Please, please, please say it with her.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's warm. This is our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus we do covenant with each other.
Siya hamba kukanyan kwenkos, siya hamba kukanyan kwenkos, siya hamba kukanyan kwenkos, siya hamba kukanyan kwenkos, siya hamba, siya hamba, siya hamba kukanyan kwenkos, siya hamba. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. Caminando en la luz de Dios, 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 caminando, vamos caminando, vamos caminando en la luz de Dios, caminando, vamos caminando, vamos caminando en la luz de Dios.
Good morning. Since our theme today is leave it better than you found it, I wanted to talk to you about kids and families who are leaving the world a little better than they found it. And maybe you'd like to tell us about some of the things that you and your family are doing to make the world better. I would love to hear about that in the comments. So we know the stories of a lot of well-known kids. First of all, I love this. This bench is the Peter Pan bench, which is in a park in London, and says always try to be a little kinder than is necessary. And so we all know about Malala Yousafzai, a young Pakistani girl who has advocated for girls' education since she was a child, and unfortunately was shot for that, but made a long, hard recovery and continues to advocate for girls all over the world. She's grown up now, but she's been a real advocate for girls' education all over the world. And of course, we all recognize Greta Thunberg, who is a climate activist who has again traveled the world by boat and also spoken at the UN about climate change. But we also have our own local activists. We have Gretchen, who is not a child anymore. She is all grown up, but she is an incredible activist with the Sunrise Movement, working on climate change. Working here is at a recent demonstration to end deportations. Has worked on as a major organizer for the Black Lives Matter demonstrations throughout the summer. She's just involved in a whole lot of things. And then, of course, our own Ava Kate Peck, and this is from a couple of years ago when she was speaking at a rally about the family separation at the border, and she just spoke spontaneously that day. And of course, right behind her is Frances Kelly, another activist who also started out very young and is still incredibly active in the community with all sorts of causes. So what can kids do to leave it better than they found it, to leave the world a better place? One of the first things is be kind every chance you get. And the Dalai Lama said, be kind whenever possible, and it is always possible. And that's just every little gesture, every kind word can do more than you might know. And we have opportunities every single day to practice kindness, whether in our homes or at school or in our offices, with our church members, online. It all helps, and it all makes the world better. By the way, I want to give some credit to a website called sacraparental.com and let you parents know about that. It is about spirituality and social justice with children within your family, and it's a really wonderful website. So I got some of these things from there, and I really do commend that to you. Another thing you can do is to be a conscious consumer. In other words, take care of your stuff so you don't need as much new stuff, like your toys, clothing, to take good care of that, and when you are done with it, to pass it on so somebody else can use it if it's still in fairly good shape. And your video games and gaming devices. Think about that for everything that you have and for everything that you use, there's been a supply chain for that. There's been a bunch of people that have made it and transported it and, sold it, gotten it to you. Think about all those people. Be very conscious of the things you use, and the food you eat too, and where you're going to get that and who has grown it. And just be really conscious of using things wisely. I would recommend, it's too long for us to watch here, but I would really recommend a video called The Story of Stuff. Because when you throw things away, there is really no such place as a way. And so it's a good time to think about alternatives to single-use plastics, and to use something reusable whenever possible. And right now, Shreveport doesn't have curbside recycling, and so far, Bossier City has never had curbside recycling. So it's a good time to start asking about that, and to start and also to start looking for ways that you can use reusable things as much as possible. Um, Another thing you can do is practice the fifth principle. Even if you're not yet old enough to vote, there are ways you can make your voice heard. You can send letters, you can send postcards to your local officials, your state officials, your Congress people, even the president. You can write a letter about things that concern you. And you can even speak at a city council meeting if you feel strongly about something here locally in your community and you want to. I remember Melissa Gibson's son Cooper spoke several years ago about the little free libraries. So anything that you care about, and there are grown-ups that can help you do that if that's important to you, to figure out kind of how to go about that. You can give your time. There are kids who come and help us at the Highland Blessing Dinner all the time. And see, they're packing up meals, and then this young man was helping take the meals out to the cars for the people who drive up. So, the family can come and join us to work at the Highland Blessing Dinner. Um, Kids can give their money, kids and adults. This is a really neat idea if you have an allowance, to make these 3 jars. One to spend. You're going to spend it pretty quick. You got something you want right now. Okay. Or you may want to save some of it if there's something you want to get over the long term or something you want to do, and set aside part of it to give. I know that when we've met in person together, there have been kids who've brought a little something for the collection plate, which is always great. Our giveaway the plate right now is to Highland Center Ministries. So you can always get your parents to help you maybe give some of your allowance to that. Another thing you can do that makes the world better is to practice welcome. And that's whether you are in school, in person, or online. There are all kinds of ways to make the new person, make the person who's just joining you, or make everybody, no matter how long they've been with you, to feel more welcome. That's another way to make the world better. So for all the souls of all ages, what are you doing to leave the world better than you found it? What ideas have you had that I haven't thought of here, that I haven't mentioned here? Let us know in the comments whether you're watching this live with us this morning or whether you're watching on the playback. We would love to know what you are doing to leave it better than you found it. Thanks a lot.
Good morning. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position. Let your body be balanced and let your spine be straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space and breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. In this moment of sacred presence, reflect. Life is a river that flows through me. I am immersed in a river of change. Everything I am flows together with everything that is. Everything that touches me changes me. And everything I touch I change. May the changes that my living brings to life be ones of beauty. May the impact of my choices be kindness and healing. As I pause today, I realize I have not come to this place and this time alone. My ancestors have walked many miles and years to shape this moment as I now receive it. My challenge and my task is to add a bit more wisdom and a lot more heart for those who follow me. I am not here alone. I join my voice to the songs of beloved community to shape a vision of a world more just and kind and free. I am not here alone. I am supported by the infinite bounty of the earth and all that lives. May I respond with a passion that preserves and protects its gifts for future generations. May the life I live be a gift to this unfolding moment. May I bring hands willing to work and build. May I bring a mind made supple with compassion. And may I bring a spirit bright with hope to celebrate the infinite potential of what we create together. In this sacred moment, I center in my breath. Breathing in, I receive the gift of life with gratitude. Breathing out, I add my light to the vision that we share.
We have a responsive reading I would like for you to join me in this morning. The parts that will be yours to say with me are the ones that are in probably bold print. I'm not sure how they have come to be in the visual that you'll see as we do it. Let religion be to us life and joy. Let it be a voice of renewing challenge to the best we have and may be. Let it be a call to generous action. Let religion be to us a dissatisfaction with things that are, which bids us serve more eagerly the true and right. Let it be the sorrow that opens for us the way of sympathy, understanding, and service to suffering humanity. Let religion be to us the wonder and lure of that which is only partly known and understood, an eye that glories in nature's majesty and beauty, and a heart that rejoices in deeds of kindness and of courage. Let religion be to us security and serenity because of its truth and beauty, and because of the enduring worth and power of the loyalties which it engenders. Let it be to us hope and purpose, and a discovering of opportunities to express our best through daily tasks. Religion, uniting us with all that is admirable in human beings everywhere, holding before our eyes a prospect of the better life for humankind, which each may help to make actual.
We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know? Do I know? Still I know thee. Do you are? See me one another. See what we really do. We are. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Water make the river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain. Spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only can the Spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life. Whoa, so is life. Ah, so is life.
I really do want to thank the choir for all the times that they contribute the effort to do these videos and get them in so that we can give you a virtual choir sometimes. The title, Better Than We Found It, today is taken from, you might recognize it, Sir Robert Baden-Powell, who was the founder of the Boy Scouts. In his last message to the Boy Scouts, he told them to, quote, try to leave this world a little better than you found it, close quote. Then he had an inspiring meeting with Juliet Gordon Low, who established the Girl Scouts later that year, and that message went to the Girl Scouts as well. Now, as a Girl Scout once upon a time myself, I always heard it expressed, leave the campground better than you found it. Now, campgrounds for the younger Girl Scouts, I didn't stay in until I was a good bit older, but campgrounds were usually places that someone else had been before us. And so there may be a little bit of litter. Maybe you could find a chewing gum wrapper here or there, whatever. But mostly, I think they were imagining our capacity to improve upon the natural state of things. Make it more comfortable for us somehow, or more enjoyable for the next person. Well, nature may not always be comfortable or friendly to humans, but as best I can tell, when not interfered with, it exists in its own perfection. So what exactly is it upon which we are each to improve and leave better? When I was much younger, I always heard stories that parents did all they could do to make life better for their children. They sacrificed and did without so that their children wouldn't have to. My parents had grown up during the Great Depression, and almost everyone in the country at that time struggled just to survive, much less to accumulate luxuries or even toys. They made do with precious little, and all swore their kids wouldn't have to endure such times as they did. Over a couple of generations, a great many people did manage to dig their way out and make a better life for their families and pave the way for their children to have an easier life. They built highways and cities, increased water resources, clean water resources, sanitation and health services, improved communications, the accessibility of public education. They generated new opportunities for leisure and travel and community. In that easier life they had made for us, and this phrase may sound a little bit familiar these days, but we were allowed to believe in the trust those promoted to believe in and trust those promoted to leadership. Trust in institutions and churches and schools and the government. We were allowed to believe, even encouraged to believe, that they had our best interest at heart, that the workings were being run by honorable people. We also thought time-saving devices and industry were totally amazing and generally absolutely good, absolute goods. But we since learned that the machines and mechanisms we built and continue to build, the systems and human accommodations we have constructed, come at a great price sometimes, always at a price. Water and air pollution, forests disappeared, land has been overcultivated. The activities we enjoy, at very least indirectly, add to the problems. Being able to travel more than 50 miles in a work day has come at a price. In my lifetime, the great trustworthy institutions, one at a time, have fallen into disgrace, at least intermittently. The part I first noticed started with the war in Vietnam. The government lied and we found out about it. Then churches lied, and schools lied, and families lied, or there were mass shootings. Things we could not trust, the things that we had been told we could trust, were exposed as all too human. We keep wanting people to learn and do better, to do the right thing. I kind of meandered in my thinking for this week through the Christian New Testament story of Jesus giving parables and stories to the tax collectors and socially unacceptable who came to hear him. There were ceremonial figures who opposed Greek influence on their culture. They were trying to be exclusive about who they would let in. And the record keepers, their publicists, if you will, and they were standing around saying, this guy welcomes and dines with all the rejects, misfits, and lowlifes. He must have heard them, because then he started telling stories. Now, I'm not sure how much Jesus actually knew about herding sheep, because he was a carpenter. But I'm also not sure how many of his audience inside cities or larger collective areas were in that line of work either. So he asks, what man among you, having 100 sheep, if he lost one, doesn't leave the 99 in the wilderness to go after that lost sheep until he finds it? I'm thinking, what happens to the 99? But he said, when you find it and carefully carry it back over your shoulders joyfully, then you start telling all your friends about it, maybe on Facebook, or somewhere, and you tell your neighbors, saying, be happy with me, I found my lost sheep. And he told them the universe celebrates more over that one who wandered off the path and finds their way back than it does for all of those who stick with the straight and narrow. The one who has never, the one who has a new awakening and tries to do better. Now, in my mind, that's about the shifting of something that has been one way. If all the people who really try to do their best are pretty consistent in that, and someone who has not understood what's in their best interest, which God only knows is a huge instinct for us to preserve our own best interest. If there's someone whose understanding of what that is moves a little bit, so that they begin to see their best interest is more tied to the collective than they may have thought before, or that the collective may be bigger than they thought before. That's what the universe celebrates. He goes into a story about the woman who only had 10 pieces of silver, and she had lost one of them, and she wrecks her house trying to find it, and then she celebrates with that. And then the next story is the story of the prodigal son. It's about a young man who wakes up one day and decides he wants his piece of his father's inheritance now. And his father obliges him, and very shortly after he receives it, the son goes off and starts spending it. He goes to a far country and starts spending it. And the phrase that I had ringing through my head through my crazy days was wasting his substance in riotous living. But that's basically public disorder. He spent it all, and then there was a drought in that land, maybe where his father lived too, I don't know. But it would probably cause something akin to the Great Depression. Trying to survive, since he had spent all of his inheritance, he signed on as a low-ranking farmhand and was given the task of going to feed pigs, which among the Jews was a particularly filthy job. They thought of swine as tremendously unclean. And so he would, at that point, have been happy to be eating what he was feeding the pigs, but people weren't even giving him that much. And one day he came to himself and he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I'm sitting here dying of hunger? He thought to himself, I'll go to my father and say to him, Father, I've done you wrong. I've done wrong by you and by all that we believed worthy, righteous, and good. I'm not worthy anymore to be treated like your son, but please make me one of your hired hands." And that's what he did. He went back to his father's land and said, and was going to tell him he was not worthy. But when he was still a long way away, walking up towards his father's place, his father caught a glimpse of him, had compassion on him, ran to him, gave him a great big hug, and kissed him. So he said, "Father, I've done wrong by you and all that we believed worthwhile, righteous, and good, and I'm not worthy to be your son." And his father said to his servants, "Bring him some really good clothes and a new iPhone 12 Pro, and prepare a feast worthy of the highest of all occasions that we might celebrate. For my son who was dead is alive again. He that was lost has been found." And they began to celebrate. Now, like I said, self-preservation is a powerful instinct and motivator. In service to it, people do all kinds of unbelievably cruel, destructive, dishonorable things. I believe we saw huge demonstrations of that instinct on display over the last few weeks. What people perceive what's in their own interest to be is unfortunately particularly relative to their lives, their experiences, their circles of trust, their spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical, social awareness, and evolution. How do we treat that evolution when we first glimpse it? Well, I almost never post on Facebook, but I did ask people over the last couple of weeks to thank the senator from Louisiana for doing an honorable thing. I don't know which piece of his story gave him the foothold to climb up, to being more inclusive. But I imagine it was a climb that came at some personal cost to him. I was so hopeful all the way to the time of the vote that defending the foundational grounds and respectability of our nation would win the day. Still, I am asked, how do we treat somebody who does something unexpected that seems, from our perspective, to be more compassionate, more inclusive? I have spoken either last week or the week before about how the media jumped on the minority leader when he tried to lift his voice for something good. Just for a metaphor, if we take invertebrate aquatic creatures and evolutionarily they sprout a couple of vertebrae and make their way onto the shore and take a big breath of this kind of air instead of the water that they've been swimming in, do we shove them back down in the water? Do we say, "You don't belong here? What took you so long?" If they had, most likely, they would have received from our media and a lot of sources a whole lot more ridicule than welcoming like the prodigal son. I don't know about leopards changing their spots, but I do know National Geographic has reported that zebras are growing some. Nature is not judging or evaluating the appropriateness or the goodness of that fact. It doesn't compare this action or that thought or this insect or that human. Nature is a state of open witnessing. Nature simply is, and that isness, in that isness, there's tremendous strength and vulnerability and generosity and wisdom and acceptance and patience, gentleness, power, balance, perfection. So do we really think we can make nature better with any human construct? You know, our human constructs and systems and institutions have generated a number of crises. Some between people. Better than we found it. What is it we can make better? Miss Susan gave us a long list of things. What have we built that makes our children's lives better than ours have been? The next generations and our children's 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 lives better. A while ago, I said almost everyone in the country struggled just to survive, much less to accumulate luxuries and toys during the Great Depression. They made do with precious little and all swore their kids would not have to endure the same times. Over a couple of generations, a great many of those people did manage to dig their way out and make better lives for their families and pave the way for their children to have it easier. But a great many were completely disregarded, edited out of the possibilities and the resources. They did not encounter the favorable circumstances and public support to regain or have purpose for the first time, even to have a foothold for climbing up. This is something we can continue to try to make better. People need warmth this week. People need opportunity and encouragement, compassion and understanding, no matter what carries them to maybe open to a little bit broader view. Inclusion is something we can leave better than we found it. Understanding is something we can grow in and make better. Acceptance of ourselves, of one another, of our neighbors, whether next door, in the next county, or in nations around the world. Beloved community, may the source and energy behind all of life help us leave this world better than we found it. I'm offering again the hymn that we were supposed to be able to try to sing together last week. Hopefully this time the lyrics will show up and you can actually sing it with me. From Ralph Waldo Emerson. To leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, that's to have succeeded. We could do better, no, who could do better than to be a singer on the high wind-swept hills of life, bringing songs to the souls, songs full of loveliness and hope for all people. We are on a journey. We didn't plan it. We didn't have time for the bread to rise. We may find ourselves in the wilderness, hungry, thirsty, doubting that we should ever have come. But look around. We're not alone. It is our journey together, a journey to our better selves, a journey to a better world, a journey to a more promised land. As we take this chalice, the light of it, into our own beings, let us remember that we're not alone in these struggles, and every time we can expand compassion in the world is made better. Go in peace. Go with love on Valentine's. Stay warm, stay smart. Ashe, amen, blessed be, so be it. Namaste.